Chapter 2 The Cow. With name of the God, the Almighty, the Merciful. Alif Lam Mim. That the book, no doubt in it, guidance to the pious. Those they believe with the unseen, and they make constant the prayer, and from what we sustain them they spend. And those they believe with what sent down to you, and what sent down from before you, and with the hereafter they assured. Those over guidance from their Lord, and those they the prosperous. Surely those who reject, equal over them, you warn them, or not you warn them, not they believe. Seals the God over their hearts, and over their hearing, and over their sights covering, and to them punishment great. And from the mankind, those, they say, we believe with the God, and with the day, the later, and not they with believers. They deceive the God, and those who believe, and not they deceive, except their souls, and not they perceive. In their hearts disease, but adds them the God disease, and to them punishment grievous, with what they are, they falsifying. And when said to them, don't you war in the earth, they say, surely what we, writing, are not surely they the warring, and but not they perceive. And when said to them, believe like what believes the mankind, they say, do we believe like what believe the fools? Are not surely they the fools, and but not they know. And when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. And when they pass to their satans, they say, surely we with you, surely what we, mocking. The God, He mocks with them, and He adds them in their transgression, they wandering. Those, they purchase the astrayness with the guidance, but not grows their trade, and not they are guided. Example of them, like example of the one who lights fire, but when lights what around him, takes away the God with their light, and leaves them in darknesses, not they see. Deaf, dumb, blind, but they, not they return. Or like form from the heaven, in it darknesses, and thunder, and lightning, they make their fingertips in their ears from the strikes, warned of the death, and the God encompasses with the rejectors. It wants the lightning, it take away their sights, all of what lit to them, they walk in it, and when darkness over them, they stand. And if wishes the God to be taking away with their hearing and their sights, surely the God over everything powerful. O you, the mankind, serve your Lord, the one who created you, and those from before you. Maybe you fear. The one who made to you the earth a floor, and the heaven constructed, and sends down from the heaven fluid, but takes out with it from the fruits sustenance to you. So don't you make to God equals, and you are, you knowing. And if you be in doubt from what we send down over our servant, but come with a chapter from its example, and call your witnesses from other than the God, if you be truthful. But if not you do, and not will you do, but fear the fire, which fuel of her the mankind, and the stones, prepared to the rejectors, and inform those who believe, and do the righteousness. Surely to them gardens, flowing from beneath them the rivers, all of what they sustained from them, from fruits, sustenance, they will say, this what we sustained from before, and brought with it similitudes, and to them in them spouses pure, and they in them living perpetually. Surely the God, not he shy, that he strikes example of what lowly, but what above them, but of what those who believe, but they know surely it the truth from their Lord, and of what those who reject, but they say, what intends the God with this example? He makes astray with it many, and he guides with it many, and not he makes astray with it except the rebellious. Those, they break promise of the God from after ratifying it, and they cut what commands the God with it, that they join, and they war in the earth. Those, they the losers. How can you reject with the God, and you were dead, but gave you life? Then he will give you death, then he will give you life, then to him you will return. He the one who created to you what in the earth altogether, then sat to the heaven, but shaped them 7 heavens, and he with everything knowledgeable. And behold, said your Lord to the angels, surely I will make in the earth a caliph. They said, are you making in her one? He will war in her, and he will spill the blood, and us we glorify with your praise, and we holy to you. He said, surely I know what not you know, and taught Adam the names, all of them, then turned them over the angels. But he said, inform me with names of these, if you be truthful. They said, glory you, no knowledge to us, except what you teach us. Surely you the knowledgeable, the wise. He said, O Adam, inform them with names of them. So when informed them with names of them, he said, Did not I say to you, surely I know unseen of the heavens and the earths, and I know what you declare and what you are hiding. And behold, we said to the angels, Prostrate to Adam. So they prostrated, except Iblis, refused and arrogant, and was from the rejectors. And we said, O Adam, establish you and your spouse the garden, and eat both from her continuously, where you both wish. And don't you both near this, the tree, but you both will be from the wrongdoers. But made them both slip the Satan over her, but took them both out from what they were both in it. And we said, Get down, some of you to others, enemies, and to you in the earth a place and sustenance to a while. But thrown Adam from his Lord words, but turned over him, surely he the turner, the merciful. We said, Get down from her altogether, but of what it surely comes to you, from me guidance, but one who follows guidance, but no fear over them, and not will they grieve. And those who reject, and they falsify with our signs, they companions of the fire, they in her living perpetually. O sons of Israel, remember my favor, which I favored over you, and I complete with my promise, complete with your promise, and to me, but revere me, and believe with what I send down, confirming to what with you, and don't you be first rejecting with it, and don't you purchase with my signs a sum small, and to me, but fear me, and don't you wrap the truth with the wrong, and you hide the truth, and you knowing, and make constant the prayer, and bring the purity, and bow with the bowing. Are you ordering the mankind with the benevolence, and you forget your souls, and you reading the book, will but not you understand, and ask with the patience and the prayer, and surely they both to be great, except over the humble. Those, they think, surely they will meet their Lord, and surely they to him will return. O sons of Israel, remember my favor, which I favor over you, and surely I grace you above the knowing. And fear a day, not will she repay a soul over a soul, a thing, and not will he accept from her intercession, and not will he take from her justice, and not will they be helped. And behold, we saved you from family of Pharaoh. They established you evil, the punishment, They killed your sons, and they let live your women, and in that to you a trial from your Lord great. And behold, we separated with you the sea, but we saved you, and we drowned family of Pharaoh, and you looking. And behold, we promised Moses 40 nights. Then you took the calf from after him, and you were wrongdoers. Then we passed over you from after that. Maybe you thank. And behold, we brought Moses the book and the law. Maybe you be guided. And behold, said Moses to his people, O my people, surely you wronged your souls with your taking of the calf, but turn to your revolver, but fight your souls. That to you better to you with your revolver, so turns over you. Surely he the turner, the merciful. And behold, you said, O Moses, not we believe to you till we see the God openly, but grabbed you the striking, and you looking. Then we brought you out from after your death. Maybe you thank. And we shaded over you the clouds, and we sent down over you the manna and the salva. Eat from good of what we sustain you, and not we wronged, and but they were their souls, their wronging. And behold, we said, enter this, the city, but eat from her where you wish continuously, and enter the door prostrating, and say straightness, we will forgive to you your faults, and soon we will add the beneficent. But changed those who wronged, saying other than what said to them. So we sent down over those who wronged destruction from the heaven with what they were, their rebelling. And behold, asked slaking Moses to his people, so we said, strike with your staff the rock, so flowed from it 12 springs. Had knowledge all men their drink. Eat and drink from sustenance of the God, and don't you come out in the earth warring. And behold, you said, O Moses, not we patient over food one, so call to us your Lord. He take out to us from what she grows, the earth, from her peas, and her herbs, and her corn, and her lentils, and her onions. He said, are you asking to change what it less with what it better? Go down to Egypt, but surely to you what you ask, and struck over them the ignominy and the destitution, and they attracted with anger from the God, that with surety they rejecting with signs of the God, and they killing the prophets without the truth, that with what they disobeyed, and they they transgressing. Surely those who believe, and those who Jews, and the Christians, and the Buddhists, one who believes with the God, and the day, the later, and does righteousness, but to them their reward with their Lord, and no fear over them, and not they grieve. And behold, we took your promise, and we raised above you the mount. Grab what we bring you with force, and remember what in it may be you fear. Then you turned from after that, but if not grace of the God over you and His mercy, to your being from the losers. And already you know of those who transgressed from you in the Sabbath. But we said to them, be apes despised. So we made them examples to what in front of them, and what behind them, and instruction to the pious. And behold, said Moses to his people, surely the God, He orders you that you sacrifice a cow. They said, are you taking us mocking? He said, I seek refuge with the God, that I be from the ignorant. They said, call to us your Lord. He clarified to us what here. He said, surely He says, surely she a cow, not old and not young, balanced between that. So do what you ordered. They said, call to us your Lord. He clarified to us what her color. He said, surely He says, surely she a cow brown, perfect her color, she pleasing the lookers. They said, call to us your Lord. He clarified to us what here surely the cow similitude over us, and surely we, if wishes the God, to be guided. He said, surely He says, surely she a cow, not lowly, she traveling the earth, and not she slakes the land, complete, no speck in her. They said, ah, now you come with the truth. So they sacrificed her, and not they wanted, they do. And behold, you killed a soul, but you covered in her, and the God brought out what you were, you hiding. So we said, strike it with some of her, like that He gives life, the God, the dead. He shows you His signs. Maybe you understand. Then hardened your hearts from after that, but here like the stone, or severer hardness, and surely from the stone to what He flows from it, the rivers, and surely from them to what He splits, but He brings out from it the fluid, and surely from them to what it goes down from fear of the God, and not the God with obliviousness over what you do. Are but you tranquil, that they believe to you, and already is a group from them, they hearing word of the God, then they change it from after what they understand it, and they know. And when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. And when pass some of them to others, they say, are you going to tell them with what opens the God over you, to their surely contending you with it, with your Lord? Will but not you understand? Or not they know, surely the God, He knows what they hide and what they declare. And from them illiterates, not they know the book, except safekeeping, and if they, except they thinking. But woe to those, they write the book with their hands, then they say, this from within the God, to their purchasing with it a sum small. But woe to them from what write their hands, and woe to them from what they earn. And they say, naught will touch us the fire, except days counted. Say, have you taken with the God a promise? But not He defers, the God, His promise. Or you saying over the God what not you know? But surely one who earns evil and encompasses with him his faults, but they companions of the fire, they in her living perpetually. And those who believe and do the righteousness, they companions of the garden, they in her living perpetually. And behold, we took promise of sons of Israel, not will you serve except the God, and with the two parents, goodness, and with the close ones, and the orphans, and the poor, and be saying to the mankind, goodness, and make constant the prayer, and bring the purity. Then you turned, except few from you, and you are turned. And behold, we took your promise, not will you spill your blood, and not will you take out yourselves from your homes. Then you affirmed, and you were, you witnesses. Then these, you fighting yourselves, and you taking out a group from you, from their homes, you making apparent over them with the evil and the transgression, and if they come to you, refugees, you send them away, and it forbidden over you, their outcast. Are but you believing with some of the book, and you rejecting with some, but not repaying of one, he does that from you, except humiliation in the life of the world, and day of the standing, they will be turned to severe the punishment, and not the God with obliviousness over what you do. Those who purchase the life of the world with the hereafter, but not will He lighten over them the punishment, and not will they be helped. And already we brought Moses the book, and we followed from after him with the messengers. And we brought Jesus, son of Mary, the clarities, and we strengthened him with Spirit, the Holy. Is but all of what comes to you a messenger, with what not desire your souls, you arrogant, but a group you falsify, and a group you fight. And they say, our hearts unaware, but curses them the God with their rejection, but little what they believe. And when comes to them a book from within the God, confirming to what with them, and they were from before, they asking an opening over those who reject. But when comes to them what they recognize, they reject with it. But curse of the God over the rejectors. Evil what they purchase with it, their souls, that they reject with what sends down the God, transgressing that he sends down the God from his grace over one he wishes from his servants. So they attract with anger over anger, and to the rejectors punishment lowly. And when said to them, believe with what sends down the God, they say, we believe with what sent down over us, and they reject with what around it, and it the truth, confirming to what with them. Say, but why you killed prophets of the God from before, if you be believers? And already came to you Moses with the clarities. Then you took the calf from after him, and you were wrongdoers. And behold, we took your promise, and we raised above you the mount. Take what we bring you with force, and listen. They said, we listen, and we disobey. And they drank in their hearts the calf with their rejection. Say, evil what it commands you with it, your faith, if you be believers. Say, if be to you the home of the hereafter, with the God exclusively, from other than the mankind, but you desire the death, if you be truthful. And not will they desire it ever, with what send forth their hands, and the God knowledgeable with the wrongdoers. And to your surely finding them, anxious of the mankind, over life, and from those who partner, he wants, each one of them, if he visits 1,000 years, and not it with taking him away from the punishment that he visits, and the God watches with what they do. Say, one who is enemy to Gabriel, but surely he sends it down over your heart with will of the God, confirming to what in front of it, and guidance and information to the believers. One who is enemy to God, and his angels, and his messengers, and Gabriel, and Michael, but surely the God, enemy to the rejectors. And already we send down to you signs clear, and not they reject with them, except the rebellious. Or all of what they promise a promise, push it away a group from them, but most of them not they believe. And when comes to them a messenger from within the God, confirming to what with them, push away a group from those they brought the book of the God, behind their backs, like surely they, not they know. And they follow what read the Satans over kingdom of Solomon, and not rejected Solomon, and but surely the Satans they rejected. They taught the mankind the magic, and what sent down over the two angels with Babel, Harut and Marut, and not they both taught from anyone, till they both said, surely what we, a trial, so don't you reject. But they taught from them both what it makes separation with it between the one and his spouse, and not they with wronging with it from anyone, except with will of the God. And they taught what it wrongs them, and not it benefits them, and already they know to one purchasing it, not to him in the hereafter from creation, and to be evil what they sell with it, their souls, if they were, they knowing. And if surely they believe, and they fear, to be paying from within the God better, if they were, they knowing. O you, those who believe, don't you be saying, see us, and be saying, look at us, and listen, and to the rejectors, punishment grievous. Not they want, those who reject from keepers of the book, and not the partnering, that it be sent down over you from good, from your Lord, and the God, He surely chooses with His mercy one He wishes, and the God with the grace, the great. Not we write from signs, or we make them forgotten, we bring with better from them, or their examples. Do not you know, surely the God, over everything powerful? Do not you know, surely the God, to Him kingship of the heavens and the earths, and not to you from other than the God, from protector, and not helper? Or you want that you question your messenger, like what questioned Moses from before, and one, he changes the rejection with the faith, but has strayed even the path. Want many from keepers of the book, if they turn you back from after your covenant, rejectors, envy from within their souls, from after what you clarify to them, the truth. So pass over and push away, till He comes, the God, with His command, surely the God over everything powerful. And make constant the prayer, and bring the purity, and what you send forth to your souls from good, you will find it with the God. Surely the God with what you do watches. And they say, not he enters the garden, except one who is Jew or Christian. These their desires. Say, bring your evidences if you be truthful. But surely, one who submits his face to God and he beneficent, but to him his reward with his Lord, and no fear over them, and not they grieve. And they say, the Jews, not the Christians, over a thing, and they say, the Christians, not the Jews, over a thing, and they read the book, like that saying of those, not they know example of their sayings, but the God, He will judge between them, day of the standing, in what they are in it, they differing. And who wrongs more, from one who stops mosques of the God, that it be remembered in them His name, and strives in their destruction? Those, not is to them that they enter them, except fearfully, to them in the world humiliation, and to them in the hereafter punishment great. And to God the rising and the setting, but where what you turn, but there face of the God, surely the God ample, knowledgeable. And they say, takes the God sons, glory Him, but to Him what in the heavens and the earths, all to Him devout. Initiator of the heavens and the earths, and when decides a command, but surely what He says to it, be, but it is. And say those, not they know, why not He speaks to us, the God, or brings us signs? Like that said those from before them, example of their saying, similar their hearts. Have we clarified the signs to people, they assured? Surely we sent you with the truth, informer and warner, and not you questioned over companions of the fire, and not happy over you, the Jews, and not the Christians, till you follow their nation. Say, surely guidance of the God, it the guidance, and if you followed their thoughts, after what comes to you from the knowledge, not to you from the God, from protector, and not helper. Those, we brought them the book, they read it, truth of its reading. Those, they believe with it, and one, he rejects with it, but those, they the losers. O sons of Israel, remember my favor, which I favor over you, and surely I grace you above the knowing. And fear a day, not she will repay, a soul over a soul, a thing, and not will it be accepted from her justice, and not will she benefit her intercession, and not will they be helped. And behold, tried Abraham his Lord with words, but surely completed them. He said, surely I will make you to the mankind leader. He said, and from my progeny. He said, not it portion, my promise, the wrongdoers. And behold, we made the house, paying to the mankind and security, and take from station of Abraham prayer, and we promised to Abraham and Ishmael that clean my house to the walking around and the standing around and the bowing, the prostrating. And behold, said Abraham, Lord, make this land secure and sustain its keepers from the fruits, one who believes from them with the God and the day, the later. He said, and one who rejects, but I will sustain him a little, then I will drive him to punishment of the fire, and bad the end. And behold, it made aware Abraham the foundations from the house, and Ishmael, our Lord, you accept from us, surely you the listener, the knowledgeable. Our Lord, make us two Muslims to you, and from our progeny a people Muslim to you, and show us our rights, and turn over us, surely you the turner, the merciful. Our Lord, and bring out in them messengers from them. They read over them your signs, and they teach them the book and the wisdom, and it purifies them. Surely you the mighty, the wise. And who he inclines over nation of Abraham, except one foolish to his soul, and already we chose him in the world, and surely he in the hereafter to be from the righteous. Behold, said to him his Lord, submit. He said, I submit to Lord of the knowing. And ordained with her Abraham, his sons, and Jacob, O my sons, surely the God chooses to you the way, so don't you surely die, except and you are Muslims. Or you were witnesses, behold, presented Jacob the death. Behold, he said to his sons, what will you serve from after me? They said, we will serve your God and God of your fathers, Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac, God one, and we to him submit. These people have passed, to her what she earned, and to you what you earn, and not you questioned over what they doing. And they say, be Jews or Christians, you will be guided. Say, but nation of Abraham true, and not is from the partnering. Be saying, we believe with the God, and what sent down to us, and what sent down to Abraham, and Ishmael, and Isaac, and Jacob, and the tribes, and what brought Moses, and Jesus, and what brought the prophets from their Lord. Not we separate between any one from them, and we to him Muslims. So if they believe with example of what you believe with it, but already they guided. And if they turn away, but surely what they in splitting. But soon he will make you enough to them, the God, and he the listener, the knowledgeable. Baptism of the God, and who better from the God baptizing, and we to him serving. Say, are you surely contending us in the God, and he our Lord, and your Lord, and to us our deeds, and to you your deeds, and we to him exclusive? Or you saying, surely Abraham, and Ishmael, and Isaac, and Jacob, and the tribes, they were Jews or Christians? Say, do you know, or the God, and who wrongs more from one who hides witness within him from the God, and not the God with obliviousness over what you do? These people have passed, to her what she earned, and to you what you earn, and not you questioned over what they doing. Soon they will say, the fools from the mankind, what turned them over their direction, which they were over her? Say, to God the rising and the setting, he guides one he wishes to a highway constant. And like that we make you people balanced, to your being witnesses over the mankind, and they being the messengers over you witnesses, and not we make the direction which you are over her, except to our knowing one, he follows the messenger. From one, he turns over his heels. And if she is to be great, except over those guides the God, and not is the God to his lowering your faith, surely the God with the mankind to be compassionate, merciful. Have we seen you turning your face in the heaven, but to our surely turning you a direction, you will like her, but turn your face direction of the mosque, the sanctified, and where what you be, but turn your faces its direction, and surely those they brought the book to their knowing, surely it the truth from their Lord, and not the God with obliviousness over what they do. And if you brought those, they brought the book with all signs, not will they follow your direction, and not you with following their direction, and not some of them with following direction of others. And if you followed their thoughts from after what comes to you from the knowledge, surely you then to be from the wrongdoers. Those we brought them the book, they recognize it, like what they recognize their sons, and surely a group from them to their hiding the truth, and they know the truth from your Lord, so don't you surely be from the doubters. And to all faces he turns them, but overtake the good. Where what you be, he will come with you, the God, altogether. Surely the God over everything powerful. And from where you go out, but turn your face direction of the mosque, the sanctified, and surely it to be the truth from your Lord, and not the God with obliviousness over what you do. And from where you go out, but turn your face, direction of the mosque, the sanctified, and where what you be, but turn your faces, its direction, to surely not it being to the mankind over you contention, except those who wrong from them. So don't you fear them, and fear me, and to my completing my favor over you, and maybe you be guided. Like what we send in you messengers from you, they read over you our signs, and it purifies you, and they teach you the book and the wisdom, and they teach you what not you were, you knowing. So remember me, I will remember you, and thank to me, and don't you reject. O you, those who believe, ask with the patience and the prayer, surely the God with the patient. And don't you say to those they killed in path of the God, they dead, but they alive, and but not you perceive. And to our surely testing you with a thing from the fear, and the hunger, and shortage from the wealth, and the soul, and the fruits, and inform the patient. Those, when comes to them a calamity, they say, surely we to God, and surely we to Him returning. Those, over them prayers from their Lord, and mercy, and those, they the guided. Surely the Safa and the Marwa from symbols of the God, but one who contends the house or visits, but no issue over him, that he walks around with them both, and one who obeys, better, but surely the God thankful, knowledgeable. Surely those, they hide what we send down from the clarities and the guidance, from after what we clarify it to the mankind in the book. Those, He curses them, the God, and they curse them, the cursers. Except those, they turn and they write, and they clarify. But those, I turn over them, and I the turner, the merciful. Surely those, they reject, and they die, and they rejectors, those, over them curse of the God, and the angels, and the mankind altogether. Living perpetually in her, not He will lighten over them the punishment, and not will they be looking. And your God, God one, no God except He, the Almighty, the Merciful. Surely in creation of the heavens and the earths, and difference of the night and the day, and the ships which flow in the sea, with what it benefits the mankind, and what sends down the God from the heaven, from fluid, but gives life with it, the earth, after her death, and spreads in her from all creatures, and turning of the winds, and the clouds, the sent between the heaven and the earth, to be signs to people, their understanding. And from the mankind one, he takes from other than the God equals, he loving them like love of the God, and those who believe, severe lovers to God. And if they saw those who wrong, behold, they will see the punishment, surely the force to God altogether, and surely the God severe, the punisher. Behold, will free those followed from those who followed, and they will see the punishment, and cut with them the paths. And will say those who followed, if surely to us a turn, but our freeing from them, like what they free from us, like that he will show them, the God, their deeds, woes over them, and not they with coming out from the fire. O you, the mankind, eat from what in the earth allowed good, and don't you follow writings of the Satan, surely he to you an enemy clear. Surely what he orders you with the evils and the lewdnesses, and that you say over the God what not you know. And when said to them, follow what sends down the God, they say, but we follow what we neared over it, our fathers, even if be their fathers, not they understanding a thing, and not they guided. And example of those who reject, like example of the one, he filled with what not he hears, except calling and wailing, deaf, dumb, blind, but they, not they understand. O you, those who believe, eat from good of what we sustain you, and thank to God, if you be to him, you serving. Surely what disallowed over you, the dead, and the blood, and meat of the pig, and what killed with it, to other than the God, but one driven, other than overstepping, and not transgressing, but no evil over him, surely the God forgiving, merciful. Surely those, they hide what sends down the God from the book, and they purchase with it a sum small, those, not they eat into their stomachs, except the fire, and not will he speak to them, the God, day of the standing, and not will he purify them, and to them punishment grievous. They, those who purchase the astrayness with the guidance, and the punishment with the forgiveness, but not will they wait over the fire. That with surety the God sends down the book with the truth, and surely those who differ in the book to be in splitting far. Not the benevolence that you turn your faces, direction of the setting and the rising, and but surely the benevolent, one who believes with the God, and the day, the later, and the angels, and the book, and the prophets, and brings the wealth over his love with the close ones, and the orphans, and the poor, and on the path, and the askers, and in the captivity, and makes constant the prayer, and brings the purity, and the completers with their promises, when they promise, and the patient in the wars, and the bad times, and during the war, those, they truthful, and those, they the pious. O you, those who believe, written over you the explanation in the killing, the free with the free, and the servant with the servant, and the female with the female. But one passes over to him from his sibling a thing, but follow with the goodness, and call to him with better, that a lightning from your Lord and mercy. But one who transgresses after that, but to him punishment grievous. And to you in the explanation life, O with the sense, maybe you fear. Written over you, when presents one of you the death, if you leave good, the ordainment, to the two parents, and the close ones, with the goodness, truth over the pious. But one who changes it, after what hears it, but surely what evil of it over those, they changing it. Surely the God listens, knowledgeable. But one who fears from ordained violence or evil, but writes between them, but no evil over him, surely the God forgives, merciful. O you, those who believe, written over you the fasts, like what written over those from before you. Maybe you fear. Days counted, but one who is from you sick, or over travels, but turn from days other, and over those they established it, freeing, feeding poor. So one who obeys better, but it better to him, and that you fast better to you, if you were, you knowing. Month of Ramadan, the one, sent down in it the Quran, guidance to the mankind, and clarities from the guidance, and the law. So one who witnesses from you the month, but let him fast it, and one who is sick or over travels, but turn from days other, he wants, the God, with you the ease, and not he wants with you the difficulty, and to your completing the term, and to your grandifying the God, over what guides you, and maybe you thank. And when ask you my servants over me, but surely I close, I answer call of the caller when calls me, but let them strive answering to me, and let them believe with me, maybe they be conscientious. Allowed to you nights of the fasts, the relations to your women, they clothing to you, and you clothing to them. Knows the God, surely you are, you betraying your souls, but turns over you, and passes over you. So now inform them and seek what writes the God to you, and eat and drink till it clear to you the sliver, the bright, from the sliver, the dark, from the dawn. Then complete the fasts to the night. And don't you be informing them, and you walking around in the mosques, these limits of the God, but don't you near them. Like that he clarifies, the God, his signs to the mankind. Maybe they fear. And don't you eat your wealth between yourselves with the wrong, and you throw down with her to the judges, to your eating apart from wealth of the mankind with the evil, and you knowing. They ask you over the killings, say, here meetings to the mankind, and the contention, and not the benevolence, with that you come to the homes from their backs, and but surely the benevolent, one pious, and come to the homes from their doors, and fear the God, maybe you prosper, and fight in path of the God, those, they fight you, and don't you transgress. Surely the God, not he loves the transgressors. And fight them where you find them, and take them out from where they take you out, and the trial severer from the fighting. And don't you fight them within the mosque, the sanctified, till they fight you in it. But if they fight you, but fight them, like that repaying of the rejectors. But if they stop, but surely the God forgives, merciful. And fight them till not she be trial, and it be the way to God. But if they stop, but no enmity except over the wrongdoers. The month, the forbidden, with the month, the forbidden, and the forbidden explained. But one who transgresses over you, but transgress over him, with example of what transgresses over you, and fear the God, and know surely the God with the pious, and spend in path of the God, and don't you throw with your hands to the destruction, and be beneficent. Surely the God, he loves the beneficent. And complete the contention and the visit to God. But if you difficult, but what easy from the offering, and don't you cut your hair till it reaches the offering, it's allowing. But one who is from you sick, or with him hurt from his head, but freeing from fasts, or truth, or sacrifice. But when you covenant, but one who enjoys with the visit to the contention, but what easy from the offering, but one, not he finds, but fast 3 days in the contention, and 7 when you return. These 10 complete, that to one, not he is keeper of it, present, the mosque, the sanctified, and fear the God, and know surely the God, severe, the end. The contention months, they known, but one who accepts in them the contention, but no sexual relations, and no rebellion, and no disputation in the contention. And what you do from good, He knows it, the God. And you add, but surely better, the added, the piety. And fear me, O with the sense, not over you issue, that you seek grace from your Lord. But when you go from awarenesses, but remember the God within the symbols, the sanctified, and remember Him like what guides you, and if you were from before it to be from the astray, then go from where goes the mankind, and ask forgiveness of the God. Surely the God forgives, merciful. But when you finish your rites, but remember the God, like your remembrance of your fathers, or severer remembrance. But from the mankind one, He says, Our Lord, bring us in the world, and not to Him in the hereafter, from creation. And from them one, He says, Our Lord, bring us in the world good, and in the hereafter good, and stop us punishment of the fire. Those to them portion from what they earn, and the God swift the accounter. And remember the God in days counted, but one who hastens in 2 days, but no evil over him, and one who delays, but no evil over him, to one pious. And fear the God, and know surely you to Him you will be gathered. And from the mankind one, it makes you wonder His saying in the life of the world, and He witnesses the God over what in his heart, and He malicious the disputer. And when turns, strives in the earth to His warring in her, and He destroys the land and the progeny, and the God, not He loves the wars. And when said to him, Fear the God, takes he the honor with the evil, but his account hell, and to be bad the cradle. And from the mankind one, he sells his soul, seeking happiness of the God, and the God compassionate with the servants. O you, those who believe, enter in the submission enough, and don't you follow writings of the Satan. Surely he to you an enemy clear. But if you slip from afterward come to you the clarities, but know surely the God mighty, wise. Are they looking, except that they come to them, the God, in shade from the clouds, and the angels, and decided the command, and to the God return the commands? Ask sons of Israel, how many we brought them from signs clear, and one, he changes favor of the God from after what comes to him, but surely the God, severe the end. Beautiful to those who reject the life of the world, and they laugh from those who believe, and those who fear above them day of the standing, and the God, He sustains one he wishes without account. Is the mankind people one, but brought out the God, the prophets, informers and warners, and sent down with them the book with the truth, to his judging between the mankind in what they differ in it, and not differ in it, except those brought it from after what come to them the clarities, transgressing between themselves, but guides the God those who believe to what they differ in it from the truth with his will. And the God, he guides one he wishes to a highway constant. Or you think that you will enter the garden, and not what it comes to you, example of those who passed from before you, touched them the wars and the bad times, and they were shaken, till they said, the messenger and those who believed with him, where help of the God? Is not surely help of the God close? They ask you what they be spending. Say, what you spend from good, but to the two parents, and the close ones, and the orphans, and the poor, and on the path, and what you do from good, but surely the God with it knowledgeable. Written over you the fighting, and it hateful to you, and maybe that you hate a thing, and it better to you, and maybe that you love a thing, and it evil to you, and the God, he knows, and you, not you know. They ask you over the month, the forbidden, fighting in it. Say, fighting in it great, and stopping over path of the God, and rejection with him, and the mosque, the sanctified, and taking out its keepers from it, greater with the God, and the trial greater from the fighting, and not will they decline, they fighting you, till they turn you back over your way, if they capable. And one, he turns from you over his way, but he dies and he a rejecter. But those shut their deeds in the world and the hereafter, and they companions of the fire, they in her living perpetually. Surely those who believe, and those who immigrate, and they struggle in path of the God, those, they expecting mercy of the God, and the God forgiving, merciful. They ask you over the alcohol and the gambling. Say, in them both, evil great, and benefit to the mankind, and evil of them both, greater from benefit of them both. And they ask you what they be spending. Say, the Passover. Like that he clarifies, the God, to you the signs. Maybe you think. In the world and the hereafter. And they ask you over the orphans. Say, writing to them better, and if you mix them, but your brothers, and the God, he knows the warring from the writing, and if wishes the God to your falling down, surely the God mighty, wise. And don't you marry the partnering women till they believe, and to be servant believing woman better from partnering woman. And if makes you wonder, and don't you marry the partnering men till they believe, and to be servant believing man better from partnering man. And if makes you wonder, those they call to the fire, and the God he calls to the garden and the forgiveness with his will, and he clarifies his signs to the mankind. Maybe they remember, and they ask you over the periods, say, it hurt, but push away the women in the periods, and don't you near them till they clean. But when they clean, but come to them from where commands you the God. Surely the God, he loves the turners, and he loves the purifiers. Your women land to you, but come to your land surely as you wish, and send forth to your souls, and fear the God, and know surely you will meet him, and inform the believers. And don't you make the God a turning to your covenants, that you be benevolent, and you fear, and you right between the mankind, and the God listens, knowledgeable. Not he grabs you, the God, with the vanities in your covenants, but he grabs you with what earn your hearts, and the God forgiving, forbearing. To those they declining from their women, be waiting 4 months. But if they go, but surely the God forgives, merciful. And if they resolve the divorce, but surely the God listens, knowledgeable. And the divorced women, they be waiting with their souls 3 courses, and not it allowed to them that they hide what creates the God in their wombs, if they believing with the God, and the day, the later, and their husbands in truth with their returning in that, if they intend writing, and to them example of that over themselves with the goodness, and to the men over them a rank, and the God mighty, wise. The divorce twice, but hold with goodness, or let flow with good, and not it allowed to you, that you take from what you brought them a thing, except that they both fear, surely not they both stand limits of the God. So if you fear, surely not they both stand limits of the God, but no issue over them both in what she frees with it. These limits of the God, but don't you transgress them. And one, he transgresses limits of the God, but those, they the wrongdoers. So if she divorced, but not she allowed to him from after, till she marries a spouse other than him. But if she divorced, but no issue over them both, that they both return, if they both think, that they both stand limits of the God. And these limits of the God, he clarifies them to people, they knowing. And when you divorce the women, but they reach their term, but hold them with goodness, or let them flow with goodness, and don't you hold them badly to your transgressing. And one, he does that, but has wronged his soul. And don't you take signs of the god mocking, and remember favor of the God over you, and what sends down over you from the book and the wisdom. He instructs you with it, and fear the God, and know surely the God with everything knowledgeable. And when you divorce the women, but they reach their term, but don't you wrong them, that they marry their spouses, when they're happy between themselves with the goodness. That he instructs with it, one who is from you, he believing with the God, and the day, the later, that to you purer to you, and cleaner, and the God, he knows, and you, not you know. And the mothers, they suckle their children, 2 circles, 2 complete, to those who intend that they complete the suckling, and over the father, to him their sustenance, and their clothing with the goodness. Not she burdened a soul, except her amplitude. Don't you wrong mother with her child, and not father to him with his child, and over the inheritor, example of that. But if they both intend carrying over happiness from them both, and communing, but no issue over them both, and if you intend that you ask to suckle your children, but no issue over you, when you make whole what you bring with the goodness, and fear the God, and know surely the God with what you do, watches. And those they taken away from you, and they leave spouses, they be waiting with their souls 4 months and 10. But when they reach their term, but no issue over you in what they do in themselves with the goodness, and the God with what you do aware, and no issue over you in what you turn with it from addressing the women, or you hiding in your souls. Knows the God, surely you, soon you will remember them. And but don't you promise them secretly, except that you say, sayings good. And don't you resolve knotting of the marriage, till it reaches the written, its term. And know, surely the God, he knows what in your souls, but be warned of it. And know, surely the God forgiving, forbearing. No issue over you if you divorce the women, what not you touch them, or you accept to them an acceptance, and make them enjoy over the ample his measure, and over the deficient his measure, enjoyment with the goodness, truth over the beneficent. And if you divorce them from before that you touch them, and have you accepted to them an acceptance, but half of what you accepted, except that they pass over, or he passes over, the one, with his hand not of the marriage, and that you pass over, closer to the piety, and don't you forget the grace between you. Surely the God, with what you do, watches. Guard over the prayers, and the prayer, the middle, and be constant to God devoutly. But if you fear, but walking or riding, but when you secure, but remember the God, like what taught you, what not you were, you knowing. And those they taken away from you, and they leave spouses, ordainment to their spouses, sustenance to the circle, without outcast. But if they go out, but no issue over you in what they do in themselves from goodness, and the God mighty, wise. And to the divorced women, sustenance with the goodness, truth over the pious. Like that he clarifies, the God, to you his signs. Maybe you understand. Do not you look to those who went out from their homes, and they close, warned of the death, but said to them the God, die, then gave them life. Surely the God to be with grace over the mankind, and but surely most of the mankind, not they thank. And fight in path of the God, and know, surely the God listens, knowledgeable. Who with that he will indebt the God, debt good, but he will add it to him, adding much. And the God he holds, and he extends, and to him you will return. Do not you look to the chiefs from sons of Israel, from after Moses? Behold, they said to prophet to them, bring out to us a king, we will fight in path of the God. He said, maybe you, if written over you the fight, surely not you will fight. They said, and what to us? Surely not we fight in path of the God. And have we been taken out from our homes and our sons? But when written over them the fight, they turned, except few from them, and the God knowledgeable with the wrongdoers. And said to them their prophet, surely the God has brought out to you Talut, a king. They said, surely it be to him the kingship over us, and we in truth with the kingship from him, and not he brought amplitude from the wealth. He said, surely the God chooses him over you, and adds him expanse in the knowledge and the body. And the God, he brings his kingship, one he wishes, and the God ample, knowledgeable. And said to them their prophet, surely a sign of his kingship, that it will come to you, the ark, in it calmness from your Lord, and remnants from what left family of Moses and family of Aaron, carrying it the angels. Surely in that to be a sign to you, if you be believers. But when moved Talut with the forces, he said, surely the God will test you with river, but one who drinks from it, but not from me, and one, not he feeds of it, but surely he from me, except one who cups a cupping with his hand. But they drank from it, except a few from them. So when he moved, he and those who believed with him, they said, no power to us the day with Goliath and his forces. Said those, they thought, surely they will meet the God. How many from troops few overcame troops many with will of the God, and the God with the patient. And when they marched to Goliath and his forces, they said, Our Lord, spread over us patience, and strengthen our feet, and help us over the people, the rejecting. But pushed them away with will of the God, and killed David, Goliath, and brought him the God, the kingship, and the wisdom, and taught him from what he wished. And if not pushes the God, the mankind, some of them with others, to be warring the earth, and but surely the God with grace over the knowing. These signs of the God, we read them over you with the truth, and surely you to be from the messengers. These, the messengers, we grace some of them over others. From them one spoke the God, and raised some of them ranks. And we brought Jesus, Son of Mary, the clarities, and we strengthened him with Spirit, the Holy, and if wished the God, not would fight those from after them, from after what come to them, the clarities. And but they differ, so from them one who believes, and from them one who rejects. And if wished the God, not would they fight. And but surely the God, he does what he wants. O you, those who believe, spend from what we sustain you, from before that it comes a day, no trade in it, and no friends, and no intercession, and the rejectors, they the wrongdoers. The God, no God except He, the life, the constant, not grabs him slumber, and not sleep. To him what in the heavens, and what in the earths, who with the one, he intercedes with him, except with his will. He knows what in front of them, and what behind them, and not they encompass with a thing from his knowledge, except with what wished. Ample his chair of the heavens and the earths, and not it wearies him, guarding them both, and he the high, the great. No forcing in the way has been clarified, the conscientiousness from the breaching. But one he rejects with the transgressors, and he believes with the God, but has held with the high, the not, surely no breaking to it. And the God listens, knowledgeable. The God protector of those who believe, he takes them out from the darknesses to the light, and those who reject, their protectors, the transgressors, they take them out from the light to the darknesses. They companions of the fire, they in her living perpetually. Do not you look to the one, contended Abraham in his Lord, that brought him the God, the kingship? Behold, said Abraham, my Lord the one, he gives life and he gives death. He said, I give life and I give death. Said Abraham, but surely the God, He brings with the sun from the rising, so bring with her from the setting. But confounded the one who rejected, and the God, not He guides the people, the wrongdoing. Or like the one who passed over a city, and here emptied over her throne, he said, surely He will give life this, the God, after her death. So gave him death the God 100 years, then brought him out. He said, how much you tarried? He said, I tarried a day, or some of a day. He said, but you tarried 100 years. But look to your food and your drink, not it surely dried. And look to your donkey, and to our making you a sign to the mankind. And look to the bones, how we move them, then we wrap them meat. So when clarified to him, he said, I know surely the God over everything powerful. And behold, said Abraham, Lord, show me how you give life the dead. He said, or not you believe? He said, but surely, and but to it surely calming my heart. He said, so take 4 from the birds, but whistle them to yourself. Then make over every mountain from them a portion. Then call them, they will come to you striving. And know, surely the God mighty, wise. Example of those, they spend their wealth in path of the God, like example of a grain, grows 7 coverings, in every covering 100 grains. And the God, He adds to one He wishes, and the God ample, knowledgeable. Those, they spend their wealth in path of the God, then not they follow what they spend, favors, and not hurt, to them their rewards with their Lord, and no fear over them, and not they grieve. Sayings good and forgiveness, better from truth, they follow it hurt, and the God self-sufficient, forbearing. O you, those who believe, don't you wrong your truths with the favors and the hurt, like the one, he spends his wealth to be seen of the mankind, and not he believes with the God, and the day, the later. But his example, like example of a stone, over it dust, but comes to it a flow, but leaves it bare. Not they measure over a thing from what they earn, and the God, not he guides the people, the rejecting. And example of those, they spend their wealth seeking happiness of the God, and strength from their souls, like example of garden with growth. Comes to her a flow, but she comes with her feed doubled. But if not it comes to her a flow, but goes on. And the God with what you do watches. Does he want, any one of you, that she be to him a garden, from dates and grapes, flowing from beneath her the rivers, to him in her from all the fruits, and comes to him the old age, and to him progeny weak, but comes to her a whirlwind, in it fire, but burns her. Like that he clarifies, the God, to you the signs. Maybe you think. O you, those who believe, spend from good of what you earn, and from what we bring out to you from the earth. And don't you desire the wicked, from it you spending, and not you with taking it, except that you feel bad in it. And know, surely the God self-sufficient, praised. The Satan, he promises you the poverty, and he commands you with the lewdnesses. And the God, he promises you forgiveness from him, and grace. And the God ample, knowledgeable. He brings the wisdom, one he wishes, and one he brings the wisdom, but has been brought good much, and not they surely remember, except those with the sense. And what you spend from spending, or you promise from promise, but surely the God, he knows it, and not to the wrongdoers from helpers. If you declare the truths, but blessed hear, and if you hide them, and you bring them to the poor, but it better to you, and he will reject over you from your evils, and the God with what you do aware. Not over you their guidance, and but surely the God, he guides one he wishes, and what you spend from good, but to your souls, and don't you be spending, except seeking face of the God, and what you spend from good, he completes to you, and you are not you wronged. To the poor, those difficult in path of the God, not they capable of striking in the earth, he thinks them, the ignorant, self-sufficient, from the passing over. You recognize them with their marks, not they ask the mankind heavily, and what you spend from good, but surely the God with it, knowledgeable. Those, they spend their wealth with the night and the day, secretly and declaring, but to them their reward with their Lord, and no fear over them, and not they grieve. Those, they eat the usury, not they stand, except like what he stands, the one, he addresses him, the Satan, from the touch. That, with surety they say, surely what the trade, example of the usury, and allows the God the trade, and disallows the usury. But one comes to him instruction from his Lord, but stops, but to him what passed, and his command to the God, and one who transgresses, but they companions of the fire, they in her living perpetually. He stops, the God, the usury, and he grows the truths, and the God, not he loves every rejecter evil. Surely those who believe and do the righteousness, and they make constant the prayer, and they bring the purity, to them their reward with their Lord, and no fear over them, and not they grieve. O you, those who believe, fear the God, and leave what remains from the usury, if you be believers. But if not you do, but hear with war from the God and His messengers. And if you turn, but to you heads of your wealth, don't you wrong, and not will you be wronged. And if are with difficulty, but look towards ease, and that you be truthful, better to you, if you are, you knowing. And fear a day you will return in it to the God. Then she completed, every soul, what she earned, and they, not will they be wronged. O you, those who believe, when you in debt with debt to a term summed, but write it, and let him write between you, a writer with the justice, and not he refuse, writer, that he write, like what taught him the God. So let him write, and let him dictate, the one, over him the truth, and let him fear the God, his Lord, and not he short from it a thing. But if is the one, over him the truth, foolish or weak, or not he able, that he dictate it, but let him dictate, his inheritor, with the justice, and ask to witness, 2 witnesses from your men. But if not they be 2 men, but a man and 2 women, from those you happy, from the witnesses, that she strays, one of them both, but she reminds, one of them both, the other. And don't they refuse, the witnesses, when what they called, and don't you stop, that you write it, small or great, to its term, that do you just with the God, and firmer to the witnessing, and closer, surely not you doubt, except that she be business present, you turning her between yourselves, but not over you issue, surely not you write her, and be witnessing when you make deals, and not they be wronged, writer, and not witness. And if you do, but surely it rebelliousness with you. And fear the God, and He teaches you, the God, and the God with everything knowledgeable. And if you be over travel, and not you find a writer, but a capturing captured, but if covenants, one of you other, but let him return, the one who covenants, his safekeep, and let him fear the God, his Lord, and don't you hide the witness, and one, he hides her, but surely it, evil his heart, and the God, with what you do, knowledgeable. To God what in the heavens, and what in the earths, and if you declare what in your souls, or you hide it, He accounts you with it, the God. But He forgives to one He wishes, and He punishes one He wishes, and the God over everything, powerful. Covenants the messenger with what sent down to him from his Lord, and the believers, each covenants with the God, and his angels, and his books, and his messengers, not we separate between any one from his messengers. And they say, we listen and we obey. Surely you forgive us, our Lord, and to you the end. Not he burdens the God a soul except her amplitude. To her what she earns, and over her what she will earn. Our Lord, don't you grab us if we forget or we fault. Our Lord, and don't you burden over us strictness like what you burdened it over those from before us. Our Lord, and don't you burden us what not power to us with it, and pass over us, and forgive to us, and mercy us. You our protector, so help us over the people, the rejecting.